If you're feeling lost right now, you need to watch this. I find it so interesting how people that I'm not close to at all from all these different circles have been saying the same thing over and over for the last few months, and it's the same thing that I've been experiencing. A lot of people are talking about how basically they feel like all the goals that they had, they didn't actually care about them. I'm in a big transition period right now as I move from one business into the other, and I've had a lot of time to reflect. And for me, I kept seeing that I'm repeating the same patterns. I'm getting stuck at certain levels. I'm making the same types of decisions, the same type of mistakes. And it really caused me to evaluate, what do I actually want, right? People say God will test you, right? And I think I have absolutely been tested in many ways. And with some of the tests that I've had in business, I realized I actually don't want this. It's not worth it. It's not worth going through whatever I need to go through, the changes I need to make, the pain, the issues, to build this one thing. And it's not because it's not, good or because it doesn't have the ability to get there. I think it ultimately comes down to, it's like, what do you actually want? Like, what do you want? You know what I mean? How often do we stop and sit like, what do I actually, like me? What do I want? You, right? One of the things that I realized is that most of the goals that I have, they're not even mine, to be honest. They're influenced by other people. And I'm not trying to throw shade at people in the community. Listen, everyone has different goals, right? And especially in this online space, everyone, wants to get to $1 million a month, which is amazing. That'd be great. But I realize I actually don't want that. I don't care. At least at this stage in my life, I don't care because I can't associate the importance of that. To me, if I make $100K a month to $1 million a month, it feels the same because I don't have a goalpost attached to the $1 million a month of like what I would actually do with the money. That's the problem, right? If I saw, okay, if I make $1 million a month, I can do X, Y, and Z. I can, build that next business. I can reinvest, whatever it might be. It'd be different, but I'm just not there right now, to be frank. The most that I've done a month in terms of cash collect is $235,000. Now, in terms of revenue, it was well over $300,000, right? But for the last few years, I've been kind of chasing this idea of like, oh, I want to hit $1 million a month, brother, just make this big giant thing, which I still think would be cool, but as I sit back and reflect and think about why I even got into entrepreneurship in the first place, when I decided to walk away from a job when I was 22, 23, making $300,000 a year, it was about freedom and it was about impact. Money is extremely important. I want to make that very clear. I've said this in other videos. I want to make a lot of money. And I'm not saying money's bad. And if you want to make $1 million a month or you want to build a 9-figure company or be a billionaire or whatever, that's awesome. Like, do it. All I care about is that you need to do what you actually want. And we get influenced as we listen to videos like this on what we should or shouldn't do. So I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And I hope it can help. But in the circles that I've been in, which I'm very grateful for, to be around people who are driven, who don't just want to make $1 million a month, they're making millions a month, right? They want to build 9-figure companies. They truly have that potential. They will. It expands your thinking. But until recently, I haven't sat and actually thought like, what do I actually want right now? And again, at any time, you reserve the right to change your mind on what you want. But I know the ultimate thing that I want is impact. It's this. It's coaching. It's teaching, right? And I don't mean that in a specific thing. I just know that when I feel my most aligned, my most alive, my most helpful, when I feel like I'm fulfilling the mission that God's asked me to do, it's always when I'm giving to others, right? In some manner, teaching them something, showing them something, speaking, right? Speaking. That's what I love. I love, no wonder I like sales. I like talking. You know what I mean? And I like talking about sales even more than I like sales, right? It's the act of helping someone else get better, right? That's why I built sales teams. That's why I enjoy it. But I guess the point of this is that I'm trying to say you need to reevaluate what do you actually want, because I think, and I just say this from personal experience, I think one of the reasons that I've been capped and stuck, and just to be totally transparent, in a subconscious way of absolutely self-sabotage the things that I've done to prevent them from getting to the level that I want, right? It's like if I'm in a business and I'm like, oh wow, like this thing's a dumpster fire, I don't want to scale this thing to $1 million a month. I'm not going to do what's actually necessary to help it get there, even if I see I'm doing the things. I've spent so much money. I mean, in the past 6 months, 30, 40,000 on coaches and mentors, like cumulatively over the last few years. I think now it's over about 170, 180, right? And just spending money trying to find the answers. And it's like, I already know what to do, but nothing's changing. Well, it's not changing because I don't think I actually really wanted some of those things, right? It's like, I'm knocking on the wrong door. To me, again, I want to make a lot of money, I want to make it clear, right? But to me, I much have a larger impact over a larger income. If I got to speak on stages around the world, helping people with business, sales, and personal development, and I made $1 million a year, I would be more happy doing that than if I built some software and sold it for 9 figures, personally. And that's right now at this stage of my life. And that might change, right? In fact, it probably will. But I had to get real with myself in terms of, like, what do you actually care about? Because half the goals that I have, I'm like, man, I'm writing these down every day, and I look at them like, I don't really resonate with these. I don't care about this anymore. And beyond that, what I've realized about myself, and maybe you're the same way, I'm the type of person who thrives under pressure. And I have intentionally put myself into situations that force me to sink or swim. That's what I've done, since I left college. This is a pattern I've done for 6 years, where I will just do something crazy in the sense of, like, when I left college, I moved to Australia, I didn't know anyone. I only had enough money for a return ticket. I was like, you got to make it work. When I started my first business, I gave myself enough runway to live for 6 months and to have business expenses for 6 months. And if I didn't make it work, I was going to go broke. I've done that again and again and again. I keep doing it. But I'm tired of creating from this place of fear, right? And I use that to hijack myself. And I did it in the beginning because I knew when I was younger that that was the only thing that was really going to drive me. And I'm not saying that's bad, right? If you got to use what you got. If that's what's driving you, especially if you're younger, like, it's fine. You got to test yourself. You got to learn what you're capable of. I'm 27 though, and as I get closer to 30, I'm like, man, I'm not where I want to be. Just transparent, I'm not where I want to be. And I'm frustrated. Yeah, even though I've done these things, I've built multi-7-figure companies, I have sold millions, I'm not where I want to be. Not close. And that's what's caused me to reevaluate all this. I'm like, man, where do I want to be when I'm 30? And am I on the path? Do I even want the goals that I said I wanted? And what's important to me at this stage is doing what's in alignment, but also creating from a different place, not creating from a place of scarcity and fear and urgency of, oh my God, I got to make this work, or, I'm going to go broke, right? Which I've done so many times, and it's worked for me. I am motivated by that. But to create from a place of abundance. Where do I actually want to get to? How can I serve? How can I help others? A different type of energy. And I'll tell you something else that's important. That energy, most people I don't think will tell you this, that energy of, like, I got to make it, your back's against the wall, that pushed me to a certain level, right? That allowed me, when I was a salesperson, to make $300,000 a year. I was so scared of not hitting my numbers. I was so scared of going broke that I used that fear to drive me. And most people can't handle that pressure. A select few can. I imagine if you're watching this to this part, you're probably one of those people that can. But as I started to build businesses and grow teams, I realized that other people don't respond well to that. And if I, as a leader, am leading from that place of, oh my gosh, we got to do this, the fear, the uncertainty, the drive coming from a very negative place of a lack of abundance, it did not drive the company in the right direction. And I'm starting to recognize these patterns myself. I'm saying, if I want a different result, I'm going to have to do something different. So I pointed this video, take a moment and look, what do you want? What do you actually want? And look at how you've been creating things, and would you create differently? Maybe if you've been in this place of chaos, uncertainty, and you've used that to your benefit, maybe it's time to continue doing that, right? Or maybe you're a bit older like I am, and it's time to start creating from a new place. A place of abundance, a place of vision, a place of clarity. Not out of fear, but out of what you want to get. Hope that helps.